We cannot and we will not accept this.
Imagine waking up to discover that the two most powerful organizations in football are no longer working together, not because of a controversial referee decision, not because of a World Cup final, but because billions of dollars and the future of football itself are suddenly on the line. Europe's biggest football organization has publicly challenged FIFA. Most expected every nation to follow UEFA's lead. But then, one country shocked the football world. Instead of joining the rebellion, they stood beside FIFA. Why? What does this country know that others don't? And could this single decision completely reshape the future of international football? Today, we're uncovering the hidden power struggle that's sending shockwaves across the football world. For decades, FIFA and UEFA have worked together to organize the world's biggest football tournaments, from unforgettable World Cups to legendary European championships. Their partnership has shaped modern football, but behind the packed stadiums, behind the television broadcasts watched by billions, and behind the trophies lifted by football legends, a quiet battle for power has been growing. It isn't about goals, it isn't about players, it's about money, influence, and who truly controls the future of the world's most popular sport. Today, that battle has become impossible to ignore. Football has always been more than just a game. It is one of the largest entertainment industries on Earth. Every World Cup generates billions of dollars through broadcasting rights, sponsorships, ticket sales, licensing agreements, and commercial partnerships. With so much money involved, every major decision affects hundreds of football associations, professional clubs, broadcasters, sponsors, and millions of fans around the globe. At the center of this system stands FIFA. Founded in 1904, FIFA governs international football and oversees competitions involving more than 200 national associations. Its biggest event, the FIFA World Cup, is considered the most watched sporting tournament on the planet. But FIFA doesn't operate alone. In Europe, another giant holds enormous influence, UEFA, responsible for organizing the UEFA Champions League, the European Championship, and numerous elite club competitions. UEFA has become one of football's wealthiest and most powerful governing bodies. For years, these two organizations worked side by side. Yet beneath the surface, their priorities slowly began to diverge. FIFA wanted to expand football globally, more tournaments, more commercial opportunities, more revenue streams. Its leadership argued that football should continue reaching new markets across Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and North America. UEFA, however, expressed concerns that an increasingly crowded international calendar could place additional strain on players and clubs. European football leaders also questioned whether some proposed commercial changes would alter the balance of influence within the sport. As new proposals emerged, the relationship between the two organizations became increasingly tense. What had once been private disagreements gradually became public debate. Then came a proposal that intensified those tensions. The plan centered on expanding the commercial structure around FIFA's flagship competitions, with supporters arguing it could unlock new investment and grow football worldwide. Critics, however, warned that such changes could shift how major tournaments are managed and how revenues and influence are distributed. Soon, discussions spread far beyond boardrooms. Football executives, league officials, club owners, players, broadcasters, and supporters all began asking the same question: who should shape football's future? The organization that governs the global game, or the confederation that oversees Europe's most successful competitions? That question would soon divide football more than anyone expected. And then, just when it appeared Europe was presenting a united front, one nation made a decision that surprised almost everyone. The disagreement between FIFA and UEFA wasn't triggered by a single match. It wasn't caused by one controversial referee decision or even one tournament. Instead, it was the result of years of growing differences over who should guide football into the future. By 2026, football had become far more than a sport. It had become a global business worth billions. Every television contract, every sponsorship deal, every new competition represented enormous financial and political influence. And that's where the conflict reached a new level. According to multiple reports, FIFA explored plans to create a new commercial structure that could attract outside investment into parts of its business. Supporters argued that fresh investment could accelerate football's growth, improve infrastructure in developing nations, and create new opportunities for associations around the world. But UEFA saw the proposal very differently. European football leaders questioned whether introducing outside investors into FIFA's commercial operations might shift priorities away from the sport itself and toward long-term financial returns. The debate quickly spread throughout international football. Some football officials viewed the proposal as innovation, others viewed it as unnecessary risk. For the first time in years, the world's football leaders were openly divided. Across Europe, several football administrators argued that football's traditional structure should not be changed too quickly. Europe already generates much of the game's commercial revenue through competitions such as the Champions League and major domestic leagues. Many believed stability was one of football's greatest strengths. Their concern wasn't simply about money, it was about influence. If FIFA expanded its commercial reach and attracted new global investment, would UEFA's role become less dominant? Would future decisions increasingly be made from Zurich instead of Europe's football capitals? Those questions fueled intense debate behind closed doors. Meetings became longer, statements became stronger, and headlines around the world began describing an increasingly visible power struggle. FIFA defended its vision. Its leadership argued that football belongs to every continent, not just Europe. While European football enjoys enormous financial success, many countries in Africa, Asia, Oceania, the Caribbean, and parts of South America still face major financial challenges. According to FIFA's supporters, greater commercial growth could provide additional funding for football development, youth academies, women's football, referee education, stadium infrastructure, and grassroots programs worldwide. From this perspective, the proposal wasn't about taking power away from Europe. It was about expanding opportunities everywhere else. That message resonated with several football associations outside Europe. Many believed global football should become less dependent on a single region's economic strength, as media outlets speculated that UEFA would successfully rally opposition. An unexpected development changed the conversation. One national football association publicly indicated support for FIFA's broader direction instead of joining UEFA's criticism. Suddenly, the narrative changed. This was no longer simply FIFA versus UEFA. It became clear that not every member of the global football community viewed the issue the same way. For some associations, the possibility of increased investment and development funding appeared more attractive than preserving the existing balance of power. That single decision immediately sparked debate across football media. Was this the beginning of a larger shift? Could more countries eventually support FIFA's vision? Or would UEFA convince enough associations to slow or reshape the proposal? No one knew. But one thing was certain: football politics had entered a completely new era. Why this matters to fans. Most supporters don't spend their weekends thinking about football governance. They care about goals, great players, historic rivalries, and unforgettable finals. But decisions made in boardrooms eventually affect what fans experience on the pitch. Future tournament formats, match schedules, broadcast rights, prize money, youth development, even the financial health of national associations can all be influenced by decisions made far away from the stadium. That's why this dispute matters. It's not simply about executives disagreeing, it's about determining how football's future will be financed, organized, and governed for decades to come. As negotiations continued, the world waited to see whether compromise was still possible, or whether football's two biggest governing bodies were heading toward an even deeper confrontation. As the disagreement between FIFA and UEFA made headlines around the world, one question kept surfacing: could football's governing bodies still find common ground? Or had the world's biggest sport entered a completely new political era? According to reports surrounding the discussions, Saudi Arabia's football leadership signaled support for FIFA's broader commercial direction, while UEFA publicly expressed concerns about the proposed structure. This immediately attracted global attention because it showed that not every major football nation viewed the issue the same way. To supporters of FIFA's vision, this wasn't about creating conflict. It was about expanding football's future. For decades, European football has generated the largest television audiences, the biggest sponsorships, and the richest club competitions. But football today is no longer centered on Europe alone. The game is growing rapidly across Asia, Africa, North America, and the Middle East. Supporters argue that new commercial investment could help develop football in regions that have historically received fewer financial resources. More academies, better facilities, improved coaching, greater investment in women's football, and stronger youth development. From that perspective, the proposal represents opportunity. UEFA, however, believes football must protect its long-term independence. European officials have argued that introducing major outside investment into FIFA's commercial operations raises important governance questions. Who ultimately benefits? Who influences future decisions? And how should football balance commercial growth with sporting integrity? These are questions without easy answers. Neither side claims to oppose football's growth. Instead, they disagree about the best path forward. That distinction is important. This is not simply a battle between good and bad. It is a disagreement over vision. One side emphasizes faster global expansion. The other emphasizes caution, oversight, and preserving existing structures. And in global sport, those kinds of disagreements can shape the future for generations. Whether you support FIFA's vision or agree more with UEFA's concerns, one thing is impossible to deny. Football is changing. Not only on the pitch, but inside the boardrooms where the future of the world's biggest sport is being decided. The decisions made today could influence World Cups, continental championships, club football, youth development, and millions of fans around the globe for years to come. As this story continues to unfold, we'll be watching every major development because sometimes the biggest battles in football are never played on the field. If you enjoyed this documentary and want more deep dives into the hidden politics, business, and history behind world football, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. Do you think FIFA's plan will strengthen world football, or should UEFA's concerns shape the future instead? And don't forget to like the video and share it with fellow football fans. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next documentary.